building, and we had some wine and some like nice cheese spread.
It was great.
Oh my God, I've never felt so rich in my life.
It was super fancy.
It was like a cheese tray with like different crackers.
Like 12 different types of cheese. And my ass was like, I'm going to stick with the regular.
She stuck with the damn cheddar cheese with grapes. I'm like, okay, did you pick this up at the 7-Eleven?
My ass was like, I'm simple. I don't need these other cheeses. They had all types of different cheeses. They were good, though.
And all these spreads, and then they had, like, cranberries.
Fruits,
yeah, apricots. Do you say apricots or apricots?
Apricots.
Okay, good.
Is it apricots?
No, I say apricots.
If I ever hear anyone say apricot.
Pass me the apricot.
Me with Zephyrlus.
Oh, my God. So we live in Florida, guys. And there's a place in Florida called Zephyr Hills. And when Jackie first moved down here, like, she's not a Floridian. She's getting there, but, she's still fresh. And
literally took the beginning of the name and went with it. And I said, it's Zephyrlus. And they have like water, their own town. So
this girl from up north, East Chicago, calling the damn town Zephyrlus.
Let me get some Zephyrlus water. And then I've been saying it for years. And then Dali's like, Zephyrlus. I'm like, yeah, what it says on the water bottle. And she's like, it says Zephyr Hills. And I was like, oh shit. It
You're
does.
right.
I felt like an idiot because I didn't read the whole thing. I was just like, all right, Zephyr, whatever.
Oh my God, so
Zephyrlus.
funny.
Yeah, it sounded right.
She was close, I guess.
They have a lot of weird places and names out here. So it's kind of like, okay, it's something I got to get used to, but.
Zephyrlus. Oh, man. But yeah, we had a nice cheese spread and some
real
wine.
adult-like of us.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is how people live. And we were like dipping our crackers in the spread. You were like, should we get a knife?
Because fancy people do have knives. And
we definitely needed a knife. It was so much easier.
Dali's trying to dip her stuff in the cheese, and I'm like, girl, I don't think that's how it works.
Oh my God.
That's how you know we were not meant to. We've never had one of them trades just because of that.
Oh my God.
But
life-changing.
Should we go into our grown folk biz?
Yeah, go right into the same way we go into all of our episodes, which is grown folk biz. Yeah, so any
adulting things
that you've done this week or made you feel like an adult?
Man, I don't know. I guess having to step up and like it sounds bad, like actually be like a super parent, because like now, because I have my kid majority of the time, so it's kind of like in school I have to do everything with him at home. Okay, it makes sense, but with him being so grown, it's just it's a challenge, but it's definitely like when he gets it, it's worth it, whatever you do. So like even though he is learning stuff in school, I know it's mostly on me, and that kind of puts pressure on me, and I'm like, oh
yeah, like
I was always like a mediocre kid. Like I got mediocre grades. Like I was an average student. I wasn't like straight A's, straight B's. My ass got the C's because I didn't apply myself. And that's what kind of I feel like, oh my God, like I have to teach him all this, even though it's like numbers and letters, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'd feel like a failure if I didn't get it done, So I'm like, okay, you got to be on it every day. And then I'm not even working right now. So once I start working, that's going to be crazy. Not meeting with him every day after school, doing it for an hour. Then they send homework home too. So it's that. And then I have like educational games and stuff for him on the computer. So he can have fun with that too. So girl, it's just a process. And all
he'll
he wants
get it.
to do,
I mean,
girl, yeah, I want to play. I don't want to do homework. I'm like, boy,
too bad.
You got to do your homework.
Me too. Okay, me too.
Can I not adult today, please?
I want to play too, but we can't.
I gotta wash these dishes. You gotta do your homework.
It's not up for discussion.
No, but it's just it's definitely a challenge. Like this is just a new chapter, a new beginning of something else, because it's just something I'm not used to.
Yeah.
So. And
you'll get it.
Yeah, I know, and then he'll get it. It's just with time, It's repetition, just getting used to it. It's just crazy how much, like, beforehand when I didn't have a kid, everything moved fast. Time was going by fast. Everything, like, I feel like now that I have a kid, I have to second guess everything. or I just have to be on top of it, you know? So, like, I maneuver so differently. It's just, he's number one over everything, you know? And that's how it should be, but it's just hard. It's like, dude, can I just, one break, shit. It's a lot sometimes, but,
yeah, it could be, I see that.
It
could be a lot.
Girl, and thank God I'm not working right now, because it's been helped. So, let me tell you about that, because I technically got hired. Technically, I'm hired at 2 jobs right now.
But she ain't working.
But I'm not freaking working. It's, like, annoying.
Dude, I'm done with coronavirus. It's ruining lives.
Like, okay, so my thing is, and I've said this before, like, I'm not with getting paid the minimum of something. I'm just like, I just can't do it. So, like, with that job, it pays decent, and it fucking, you can make your own hours.
With a new job you got.
Yeah, with a new one. The old one, I tried to look, this is our old job that me and Dali were working at, and they still have not opened up the restaurant we were working at. So, they offer a whole bunch of other positions to us, but a lot of them were not to my, I don't want to say not to my liking, just not to the schedule that I have around my son. So it's kind of like, damn, you know, I wish I could go back, but I can't. And then if I were to go back, I'm like, okay, if I am to go back and I'm going to work, it's going to be for either the same amount that I was making beforehand. Like, I don't want to work and slave my life and not make, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not make what I feel I'm worth.
That sounds like me right now.
No, but you're doing it for a specific reason. You know you're making the sacrifice. We understand that you're making the sacrifice for a specific reason, girl.
Yeah.
You're trying to get that crib, which is totally understandable, girl.
I don't even know anymore. Am I doing it for a reason? I don't even know.
Or am I just here?
What am I doing?
But yeah,
oh, God.
My little rant. I'm just, freaking hired at 2 jobs, not working right now, but still waiting. I've been applying every freaking where, so we'll see how that ends up. Someone's gonna call me at some point.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not stressing on it. I'm just, of course it's on my mind, but I'm like, okay, the process is gonna be the way that it is. You can't rush it. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not, it's not, you know? So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, just chill out. So, I don't know. That's kind of been my thing.
Yeah.
My little rants, my long rants. What is your life been like lately? How's work and everything?
Oh man, I've had a fucking week, y'all. Like, Jackie knows. I don't know what has been going on with me, but like, I don't even know. I don't know. Like, who am I anymore? I like low key. I know this sounds really bad, but like, I low key feel like I need to go see a therapist.
You should then.
I can't afford it.
Well,
I can't afford a fucking therapist because my job is boo-boo.
That's just fucking crazy. Maybe,
Well, I'm getting insurance. My insurance hits next month. And I think with that insurance, you're, like, allowed like a number, like maybe 6 visits a year or some shit like that.
you're paying a certain amount every time. Like a lesser amount, maybe because you have insurance?
I think it's that insurance covers 6 visits.
But what about after that?
After that, you have to pay.
Right. I mean, hopefully at like a discounted
like, y'all
price or
better
something.
figure out all these issues in 6 visits because I ain't coming back.
Right. So, okay, let's get down to it.
I'm going to YouTube the rest of my symptoms and diagnose myself, and y'all don't want that.
Dude. But if you feel like you should see one, girl, see one then. Yeah.
I know. I just can't afford it right now, and like, I need
Isn't that what's messed up? Oh my God.
I know. I need a therapist, but I also need money. I also need food in my stomach.
Gas, rent, like shit.
Oh my God. And I don't even have like a lot of responsibilities right now because I'm living with my mom. Like, and it's fucking crazy. I don't know. I'm just like, I've been going through it this week. I don't even know. Maybe I got food poisoning. I don't know what it was. I threw up at work.
Girl.
Like projectile vomited. Like exorcist type shit. I'm like, oh my God, thank God none of these people heard this. Oh, it was horrible. And then today I started my period. And I'm like, oh my God.
The life. It's just coming.
But a good thing that happened to me, a really cool thing. I'm going to tell y'all a story. So, I went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day because, like I said, I haven't been having coffee. But after work, I'm like, I need the fucking coffee. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I got my coffee. And while I'm like pulling up to the drive-thru, I was like, an instant, like, I really want a glazed donut. hit me. And when I was younger, when my period would start to come, I used to crave donuts.
That's crazy.
My mom used to have to buy like a whole pack. It came to a point where I was like, Mom, don't buy them anymore.
Oh my
I
God.
can't keep this habit up.
Oh my God.
I can get chunky. I know I can. My metabolism isn't that great. So like, she had to stop buying me the donuts. But I pulled up to that Dunkin' Donuts and I'm like, I really want a glazed donut. I don't know why. And
Did you get one?
No. So listen, I talked myself out of it. And I'm like, you don't need the donut. You don't need the calories. You can't spend the money, bitch, because you don't got a good job.
I'm limited.
You can't pay the $1 for the glazed donut. You just can't. It's not in your budget. It's the coffee or the donut. Anyway, so I had to give myself the little pep talk. I was like, all right, just give me the coffee. And I ordered one of the little egg and cheese wake up wraps. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, that'll do. So I get my coffee and they're like, oh, if you can pull around and wait for your food, it'll be right out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm waiting there. It didn't really even seem like a lot of time passed by. I was probably like distracted by something. The guy comes out and he was like, thank you so much for waiting. I'm so sorry you had to wait that long. I threw in a glazed donut.
Oh my God.
For your wait. And I was like, oh my God.
Really?
I looked at him. He looked rushed. So I didn't want to tell him, but I really wanted to tell him, like, you don't understand. The universe sent you here to me for this donut.
Oh my God.
So then I told myself after that day, I'm not going to get something that I know is bad for me. When I crave it, I'm going to let it come to me, like that glazed donut. Because I could wait. That showed my patience, and that was my reward. So then I made that oath to myself. Girl, today I start my period and I get to work, and one of the girls comes from across the street and she's like, Dali, they had Krispy Kreme donuts across the street. I brought you one. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
Isn't that cool? I was like, damn, universe, you really showing out. Hell yeah, I ate the donut. She was like, I was like, a Krispy Kreme donut. And she's like, I'm going to heat mine up. You want me to heat yours up? I'm like,
my
yes,
God,
I
yes.
do want you to heat it up.
They're so good like that. Oh my
Dude,
God.
and she brought it. Oh my God.
I haven't had a Krispy Kreme. Well, I'm not a big donut person, but Krispy Kreme donuts.
Ooh.
Like, I remember back in the day.
When they would make them, you could watch
fresh. And then like, if you go into the shop where they make them, they'll give you one for free right off the rack.
Yes.
Fresh, hot. And that shit was like, on some fat shit. That shit was so good. We used to just go in there just to get a free one and walk right back out.
Yo, you never worked with the manager, the night manager, one of the night managers?
No.
You never really worked with her like that. No. But, girl, she was a little hustler. She used to bring in Krispy Kreme donuts and charge people $1 for the damn donuts.
Oh, my gosh.
And my ass, okay, here's $1.
I'm so done.
Johnny, I'll spot you. Like, okay, thanks. Oh,
that's
my
crazy.
God. But, yeah, so moral of the story of my week in adulting is let the universe bring you the stuff that you think you need sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think that I needed that little life lesson.
Speaking of that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've been seeing a lot of triple numbers lately.
Bitch, me too!
And I know that, like, a lot of people talk about just having alignment and this and this and that.
What numbers have you been seeing?
1, 3.
I've been seeing
4.
3s and 4s like a bitch.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with our podcast?
Please let it be good things.
Is our podcast in alignment? Oh my God.
It's coming together. No, but it's just, I've heard a lot of stuff about that. So, like, I'm not one to really believe in it. But every time I look at a clock, I'm like, this again? What?
Yeah, dude.
1, 2, 3, 4? What?
That's what's been happening to me. It happens to me often, but it's been happening a lot lately.
But see, that's why I'm like, I know that they say, you know, some people might think that's like mumbo jumbo, whatever. Like, they think it's lame and it's just stupid. But, like, how many times do you actually look at the clock to where it's at that exact time?
Right.
It's not that often. I think that in my life span, like this year alone, especially the last few months, I've seen multiple, like
in alignment
repeated numbers. Yeah. And it's like, what the hell? Like, how am I looking at the time at this exact moment all the time? Like, it's just weird. So I'm just...
No, it's the universe speaking to you. And it's like your angel guides trying to give you a message.
I like that.
Dude, I be looking all that shit up. When I see like 555s, I'm like, oh! Google 555 meaning. And it's like your angel guides want to say hello, and they want to say,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
that, I know 555 means like a big change. So it could be like a big job change. It could be a big money change, a big, like a new house. Bitch, I see 555 everywhere. I'm like, a house?
What
A
about
house?
666?
Just kidding. You might want to worry.
We're staying away from that one.
You might
I
want to
ain't
worry.
seen that one. Well, that can't even happen because there's no 6.
Well, on the
There's
clocks,
past,
yeah.
right. No past 59. We're good.
Yeah, thank God. But, yeah, no, that's definitely the universe well, I believe that's definitely the universe talking to you. And, like, look, I'm always doing that shit. I'm always like, I'm going to leave it to the universe. I'm going to leave it to the universe.
I'm not going to lie. It's a little creeping me out in a way. It's not like it's just weird that I'm like, what the hell? Every time I look at the clock, but do I think it's something bad? I don't believe in my heart that it's something bad, but like it is kind of weird. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
yeah,
okay.
no, it's definitely like a good thing, and it shows how aligned you are with you're becoming more aligned with yourself.
Ooh, I hope so.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
Take it all as good.
Yes, because next year, you're going to have a new Jackie. Yeah, right. Same Jackie, just changed a little bit. A new version of Jackie.
The 2021 version of Jackie. No, but, yeah, that was my adulting. We just spent like 16 minutes talking about our grown folk.
Right.
But it was good grown folk. It was good grown folk. I'm happy you're seeing aligning numbers.
Because you have been too. I'm
yeah.
going to start looking that stuff up some more. To
Yeah.
see what it's like.
And sometimes it'll be so spot on, and you're like,
Whoa.
and like your angel guides are trying to send you a message. And like, I'd be really like, who are my guides?
Right.
Who are y'all? Like, shout out to y'all, because y'all saved me from a lot of shit. What's the message you're trying to tell me now? Let me know.
That's too funny.
But yeah, so let's roll, and we can roll right into our topic. Now that we got that all off our chest.
Got that out the way.
So our topic for this week, it's kind of funny because the way that we figured out this topic, we came up with this topic, me and Jackie were drinking wine one night, and we were talking like about creativity, like getting creative with ideas.
And coming up with more topics for the podcast and trying to figure out how to expand our minds. Because sometimes, well, me specifically, I get that like mind
block? Like a
mind block,
block,
roadblock. What is it? The writer's block?
Writer's block. Mental block. Writer's, I don't know.
It's something. But, and I catch myself like not being able to come up with topics. Like Dali's really good at it. But she's like, you can watch the most random stuff and it'll be right there, And I'm like, oh, no. So then as soon as we turn on the TV.
We were like, yeah, let's watch commercials. Like, I'm sure you could just skim through commercials and you can make a topic out of it.
Right.
The commercial that popped up, we were like, what the fuck? And it was, have you or anyone you've loved been a victim of the Boy Scout child abuse case, whatever? And I'm like, what?
Right. Like, what the hell? And we both looked at each other and we're like, yeah, this is it.
Like, that's definitely
an
a topic.
episode we're going to definitely touch on.
And, like, the more we looked into it, the more we were like, this is, like, legit an issue. I never had heard about the Boy Scout. Scouts.
No, I never heard about the Boy Scouts. Well, the thing is, like, our main topic, and not to, like, get on a serious note, because we do get on a lot of serious notes, but it's about sexual abuse with males, with younger males, particularly, because that's something that's not talked about a lot. And for girls, it's such a hard issue to confront. So for men, I know it's twice as hard,
right?
Because that's looked down upon. It's already. And I was telling Dali that you don't really know how it is unless you're in a situation like that. You can't tell someone or give them advice on how to feel or what they should do. I mean, you can be there for them. And I would hope that anyone in the situation where if they're raped or regardless of boy or girl, that they would open up about it. But, I mean, we went and researched these two things, and we were like, this is crazy. Like, these two establishments. And
these aren't even the only two. Like, imagine all the other ones, and it's really heartbreaking that, like, the two that we're going to touch base on, which is the Boy Scouts, and then we'll tell y'all the other one later. But, yeah, the two that we touch base on, we grew up in that.
Right.
we grew up with thinking everything was all good. Like with the Boy Scouts, I grew up like, oh, the Boy Scouts is so cool. And the Girl Scouts. I want to be a Girl Scout.
And I was a Girl Scout. I was telling Dali that. I was a Girl Scout for a little bit. I was only a brownie, which is like the first level. But I never went past that because it didn't like interest me like that. But it's meant to be an innocent
Organization.
right,
Like,
for kids to be able to do things, to learn about nature, to learn about, you know, as a Boy Scout, you're learning stuff about outside. You're learning how to survive outside and things like that. You know, it's not a bad program. The things that come with these stupid programs and the people who fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just horrible. Because, like, what if I wanted my kid in Boy Scouts? Now I'm second guessing that shit.
Well, it makes you second guess everything. Like,
Right.
what if I want my kid in dance class?
Right.
No, hell no. Like, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we were talking about earlier, the gymnast,
Right.
the gymnastic coach that,
it was, Nassar. I think Nassar.
yeah.
Dr. Nassar or something
Dr.
like that.
that he like was molesting all these gymnasts.
Yeah, it was over 300 of them. Over
that
300
testified, right?
And
everything.
testified, and he had to hear every single story from every single one of these girls.
And
This
it's like,
man-
damn, dude, you can't even put your kids in gymnastics.
But it's...
And it's so sad because like these women like have grown up now. So this was happening when we were little.
Right.
And or even beforehand.
But you think about this, like their situation too. They're in these things where they want to compete. They're trying to be number one. So they're not going to do something to knock that. They're going to want to...
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's tons of things that they keep on the low or secrets.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
So that they're kept on the team or they're you know, going to the Olympics or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of the girls that went to the Olympics were also molested too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, ooh, like... But 300 girls, that's like heartbreaking. Like you're a fucking pig. You're a puerco. Like that shit is not even...
Yeah, and then when you hear... It's just insane to me, dude. And like we're living in a time, like the time we're living in now, everything is human trafficking, pedophilia. Everything is like child molestation. And it's like a lot to fucking take in. Because you don't want to believe that. You don't want to believe that grown adults are doing that shit.
To little kids.
To little innocent
they're snatching
kids.
Up kids. They're doing all types of crazy shit.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But you don't. And then I feel bad because people who put their kids in these organizations, they're thinking the best of it. They're not thinking of anything for their kids to come back. Man,
giving money to the organization so their kid could be in it, and then to come to find out, I paid money
for my son to be
molested and shit like that. Like, oh, I would beat somebody's ass.
Yeah, there would definitely be some issues. We'll say that.
Yeah, and it's really disheartening.
It's heartbreaking.
So, the Boy Scouts of America, they filed for bankruptcy. And a lot of it had to do, the financial instability is because of the 300 lawsuits from men who say they were sexually abused as scouts. And when you think about their filing for bankruptcy, how much is the Boy Scouts worth?
Right. They've been around since before I think we were born. So
yeah,
Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. So for them to go bankrupt,
Well, I looked it up. It said that the Boy Scouts has assets exceeding $1 billion. So
wait, and you're going bankrupt? Wait a minute.
Right.
That's fucking. I mean,
and then
assets are just what you own, but still, like.
I thought they were going bankrupt because of the allegations that were being held against them. But I'm not sure because then I read that the Texas-based Boy Scouts, they kind of like found like a loophole in their system, and it was like Chapter 11, and it was their bankruptcy protection. So it would pretty much make it more difficult to pursue legal claims against the organization and recover damages. So they kind of found like a loophole to where if they're going to file for bankruptcy, these people can't sue them.
Oh, wow. So that's why they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, because that's what the Texas branch did.
Damn.
Which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, because they know what's going on.
Like,
and I mean, I kind of understand from a business point of view, that would be the best decision for you, because you guys then fucked up.
Well, yeah, for sure. But, like, when you're fucking up people's lives, we're not looking at it from a business point of view anymore.
Exactly. Well, and then it's going to be two different things, because if we own a business and we didn't know, okay, so let's say, which I doubt that the CEOs and them didn't find out about that. I'm sure they've heard of the allegations and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But to not put out precautions and different guidelines or whatever in place for that is just... But then that's the thing too. I'm sure they do backgrounds for people who are taking these kids on trips.
Well, shit, it was the same with Nazar.
Mm-hmm.
The freaking people, the girls were saying things. Certain girls were saying things.
And nothing was said.
And it was being swept under the rug. It was getting taken to like a head person in the gymnastics organization.
And he was kind of like,
and then it was like,
it
was like not a big deal from that point on.
Yeah.
So nobody heard anything again. Because they don't want the organization to go down. That's a horrible name, a horrible look on your name.
Well, it's a horrible look anyways. So it's
right.
I think that like a lot of stuff happened. It wasn't just NASCAR that got, the U.S. gymnastics themselves were investigated and things like just because of the fact that all this happened. Like, how did this happen?
And it was like it happened to so many girls, and it was swept under the rug every time.
It's hard. I mean, that's just sad. So,
and then some crazy shit that I found out. One of like an ex-scout that did get molested, he kind of like wrote a story and stuff like that about his experience. And apparently, according to him, his name was Noah Colwyn. He said that the founder of the international scouting movement, the founder's name is Sir Robert Baden-Powell. Baden? I don't know. But that guy, was a known fascist sympathizer and admirer of Benito Mussolini. He told colleagues he hoped to link the scouting movement with the Hitler Youth. Mm-mm. Which goes into like a whole other
like subject or section of this shit.
So like now you're pretty much a racist. And you're trying to link your movement to the Hitler Youth.
That's
and
weird.
you're molesting
kids. I feel like there's always a different motive for people sometimes, especially in this, in this specific case. Like, he's like, oh, let's create the Boy Scouts. But in real life, we're creating an army for, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's fucking crazy, dude. It's really, like, scary. It's scary, like...
I feel like it's even more scary when you have a kid. You're just like, what am I throwing my son into?
Yeah.
Like, I brought my son into this world, and this is a crazy ass world right now. Like,
it's crazy.
Oh my goodness. And then the thing is, though, these allegations, I feel like more and more keep popping up. The people who come forward with the allegations, those are just the people who come forward. Mm-hmm. Just like with the Nassar situation with the girls, it was such a big thing because all these girls came out, but I'm sure there were many other females that didn't come forward because they were ashamed or embarrassed or, felt a specific way or wanted to leave it behind, whatever the case was. But these Boy Scouts too, the same with them. Like, I just feel like in comparison, it isn't anything to compare. When a girl gets molested and a guy gets molested, it's the same. They're molested. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like girls, when they have the support, I feel like when anyone has the support, they're willing to come forward. But some people just feel some type of way because you could have all the support in the world too and not want to come forward because you're ashamed or you feel
and you're scared that people aren't going to believe you. All these people that are coming out as adults,
right?
You have a lot of shit talkers that are like, oh, they waited all this time to say something. They waited
Well, and then like I said, it's not just girls who are ashamed and embarrassed, especially guys are.
Hell yeah.
Guys are supposed to be macho, and guys
are supposed to, like, especially, dude, if it's a woman molesting a little boy, that's, like, kind of, like, looked up upon.
They don't really, it's not that big. I feel like women are, like, there's definitely women who are fucking molesters, too, but they're less likely to look at them than they would a boy, or, like, a man. The men are, like, women are prosecuted for it, too. But I feel like men are like
given way more harsh judgment and way more harsh treatment. Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is, like, if a little boy gets molested by an older girl, it's kind of like, oh, damn, you hit that?
Right.
Oh, damn. Like, it's kind of, like, glorified.
Right.
That confuses a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, that confuses... I remember... If you're still out there and you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I remember there was a kid in my middle school, and he was fucking the 6th grade teacher. We were in 6th grade.
What?
And she was fresh out of college. She had to be like in her early 20s.
What? Did she ever get caught?
Girl, no. But we all knew it.
Oh my God.
And everyone all the boys in the 6th grade were like dapping him up and like, oh yeah, you're the man,
You're
blah,
11 years
blah.
old. Like,
but like,
what?
you don't know you don't know what that's doing to an 11-year-old mind. That's still like.
That puts in his head like, oh, this is okay. Like, yeah.
Right. That's fucking crazy to me.
When you're little as hell like that, you shouldn't be doing nothing but putting your head in some books.
Damn, I'm thinking about when my middle school, I'm like, damn.
It was bad.
Ratchet. It was crazy.
That's so funny.
It was fun as hell, but I mean, the things that these 11-year-olds knew.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, and I'm like, whoa.
Whoa, what is this? I feel like it was the same for me, girl. Like when I, surprisingly, when I moved from EC schools to Hammond schools, that's when I started learning like about sexual stuff, and I was like, what the heck?
You know?
I had been in a little cube for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And so I learned tons of crazy stuff. Our middle school was kind of crazy too, plus high school, but whatever.
I think that's like what middle school's for.
But
everyone's going crazy a little bit.
Just to get back on the topic.
All right. Let's get back on the topic. Jackie's kicking me off. All right.
No, but what we were just saying earlier, it's just I feel like it's not easy for anyone to come forward with it, but I feel like if something like that has happened to you, there are people who do want to help you, so please do come forward with it. You know, like tell somebody. Don't be by yourself dealing with something like that. That's horrible.
I mean, but again, that's easier said than done. Like,
I know
there's shit that I deal with, but I don't tell nobody, and then I just feel like no one's gonna get it the way that I understand it,
right,
especially if they've never been through it. And then you have this thing in your head sometimes too, like, even if somebody has gone through it, they're not me. They don't know how I went through it, and they don't know. Like, it's way easier said than done. So it's like,
always.
Even if you don't want to say anything, which I think you always should. I think the best outlet to letting shit out is to talk. And I struggle with that too. But like, even if you are a person that like needs to keep it in and it's taking you a little longer than most people or other people are, then just, reach out in different ways. I feel like a good thing to do is like reach out and try to find ways to cope with it, or to like cope with it until you're ready to really cope with it, I guess you can say. And I guess that sounds bad. I don't know.
No, but that makes sense though, because like, well, we were talking earlier, like when you're a kid, you look at stuff innocently. So like you see people and you don't think, oh, they're gonna do something to me, or they're gonna this and this and that. You have that innocence where you view people a certain way. Well, most kids do, and then like you grow up and you see things differently, and you're like, wait a minute, like, this and this and that. What happened to me back then was you notice things differently than you did. You're not thinking of a mind of a 11-year-old. You're thinking with a mind of a 20, almost 30-year-old. So it's completely different. Of course, it's just.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, you grow up and then that shit starts to come back to you, and you're like, wait a minute, that was not okay. And that could be a lot to hit all at once when you're growing up. Like, whoa.
I think that we're just, when it comes to problems, just issues in general, they want us to sweep it under the rug and just do what we need to do and go on with our daily lives and forget that we have feelings or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, and even like there's even families where the kid will tell, like the uncle, like the sucio uncle that molest the kids.
Well, that's the thing too. Families don't believe either.
Yeah, they don't believe it. And they're always just like, oh, well, that's your Theo. Don't say shit.
He would never do something like that.
Yeah.
No.
Or like they know for years. Like, those people that like I've known. I mean, I didn't like personally know, but I knew he was like that.
Right. Like, yeah.
And they don't do nothing about it. And it's like, that happens very, very often.
Yeah.
It happens very often. And it's
I feel like every family got that one person in there that's questionable, like,
hell yeah,
with that
it's
shit.
Like,
hell yeah, and you're just like, can't mess
and
with
it's
that
sad
one.
that you have to, like, protect your kids from that, too. Like, you, not only do you have to protect your kids from the outside world, you have to protect them from the inside, which is supposed to be their safe haven. Like, you really have to trust who you are around.
It's just sad because, like, so what if a parent does trust somebody?
Right.
And they just, like, just steer your kid in the wrong direction, or I would feel some type, like, I would be devastated if I were to leave my child to something like that, and force him to be, you're going to school, or you're going to do this, you're going to this, you're going to do this event, or whatever the case is. It's just.
I knew a situation. I actually knew the guy. It's fucking crazy, but there was a situation where the guy got with this girl that had a daughter from a previous relationship, and he stayed with her. They were together for years, and he helped raise that little girl. And then they had a baby together. Girl, next thing you know, I find out, like, yo, you know, so-and-so's in jail. And he was molesting that little girl. So imagine, all I think, even to this day, bro, like, I think about what that mom must have felt. Like, you loved this man, you let this man into your house,
and then
had a baby by him.
But then it's crazy because mothers like me are like, how did you not see this? Where was your mind at? Was your mind so clouded in love that you, like...
But that's not fair, though.
And it's not, because when you do love somebody, you want to think the best and that they wouldn't do something like that.
Right.
But I would peep stuff out, like maybe he wasn't showing signs, or maybe he was doing this on the low when she was gone, or you know what I'm saying?
I think he was doing it because she's the one that caught them. She walked in on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy.
The dude would have been dead.
Yeah.
There ain't no jail time. You are dead.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, and they had just had that baby. And then he's in jail. She's raising both of them now.
Oh my
Which
God.
is probably better that way, of course, but
to grow up and
say, where's
like,
my daddy? Oh, your daddy's in jail because he molested your sister.
Right, but it's not even...
That's fucked
just
up.
Just the fact that you have to have a kid by someone who did that to your own daughter, and then you have to grow up and kind of explain, or like, that's just a complicated
that kid
situation.
looks like him and shit. It's like,
man.
oh, I can't get away. That's a living nightmare, bro.
That's crazy.
It's sad. And then, like, another thing too, that we have to be, especially, like, we were raised in with, like, God. We with church, with, you know, respecting our elders, with
having certain morals and stuff.
Right. And I was raised Catholic. And, you know, when you're growing up, like, I feel like in middle school, high school years, it started becoming, like, a joke. Like, oh, all the priests molest the altar boys and stuff like that. We would just laugh about it. But, like, that shit's, like, really happening.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that I was in that, once a week for, like, a long time of my life. Like, a long period of my life. And who knows? I don't know. I wouldn't want to think that the priest that I was going to church with wasn't doing that shit, but you just never know.
Right. You don't. And then priests are supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to be...
Well, they're looked up upon. Everyone looks up to them.
Well, they're not supposed to be having sex in general.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to be with women because they make this vow, just like nuns. They make the vow to be just with God. So, like, they're not supposed to... be having sex, just period, in general. And then I looked up that a lot of them, actually, like a good little percent of them are gay.
Yeah.
And then they're in the church, and it kind of like, it's crazy because it's like with knowing that and being that way, you still decide to be a priest, and then you're put with these little boys, and then you're like, ooh, that's prey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like...
Yeah, it's like the perfect end.
That's what I'm saying. And
It's
then you're just like, oh, okay,
end.
well, no one knows that I'm gay, and no one knows, you know, and I'm all holy, and I don't have sex with anybody, so...
And when you hold, like, that kind of title, everyone looks up to you. Mm-hmm. And it's like, don't listen to what the priest says. Don't disrespect him. You better talk when he talks back. This and that. And that confuses kids.
Yeah. That
confuses the shit out of kids.
Mm-hmm.
When, you know, somebody that everyone's looking up to is doing something to you like that, I'm assuming you would think that that's okay. Yeah. Like, that's just what the priest is supposed to do, and everyone's just accepting of it. You know, like, I'm trying to put myself in, like, a little kid's shoes, and it's like, really, it fucking sucks.
And I'm sure they've come up with a lot of excuses, because there's been a shit ton of men, especially in the Catholic churches, that have been molested. Like we were saying, old men have come out and talked about these things.
Yeah, it says, like, reports have revealed that this abuse was made possible for so long because of systemic cover-up from, like, church leaders and clergy. That's how you say it? Yeah, clergy. But yeah, like, everyone's covering it up. The same with the fucking gymnasts. The same with the Boy Scouts.
They find a runaround. And they find ways. Well, I looked. Okay, so at the end of mid 1990s, more than $1 billion was paid in jury awards. And it grew to $1 billion by 2002. The Roman Catholics had spent $615 million on sex abuse cases in 2007 too.
Damn, dude.
And then right now, they say that last year in 2019, that the amount of accusations of sex abuse of minors quadrupled compared to the previous 5 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
dude.
that just goes to show you there's a lot of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think about how many kids have gone, and like, we were thinking about it now. We have Catholic churches in America, okay. But like in Italy and Rome, that stuff is so freaking big. Like, I feel like they put their kids in all these churches. You know, they put those kids in all these same-sex schools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way to do things out there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how that's what they're shown. That's what they're, like, brought up. They got the Pope and stuff, you know? Like, that's another thing. I never understood any of that. Like, we talked about that, too, because we were both in church. But she was more raised in a Catholic church, and I was more in, like, a Christian non-denomination, you know, whatever church. But it was just different. So things were done differently. But I was just like, what is this? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. That's a whole different, like, religious thing. But
religion in general, it's like...
it's a big headache.
It's hard to think about.
It's too much.
Especially when you find out things like this. Then you're like, wait. And there's a lot of scandal that goes on in church.
Girl, yes.
A lot of scandal. But, you know, I heard somebody... This is not excusing the fucking priest with the kids. This is just about other scandals in church. I heard somebody say one time, people that go to church, they don't go to church because they're perfect. They go to church because they're sinners and they want to be
better, right?
Better. So you can't expect everyone to just hop into church and be perfect.
Right.
You know, and
You're
it makes...
have broken... Damn near probably everyone is broken in that bitch, you know?
Right. So it makes sense. But when it comes, like, to this extreme, like what we're talking about today, I don't get it.
Right.
Like, we're broke. I mean, I get everyone's broken and, you know, this and that. But you're taking your power and you're taking... you know, the word of God, and you're putting it into, like, to use, like, and this, and it's just, like...
using it in malicious ways. Like, no, that's just not how it's supposed to be. That's how it should ever be. And shame on the people who prey on kids like that, knowing that they don't know everything, and they have kid-like minds. Hello, they're kids, you know?
Yeah.
So...
And then it's, like, when we were growing up, we grew up super Hispanic, like... Our parents were always like, give him a hug, give him a kiss.
And that was
do
normal.
This. And we were like, oh, okay. Like, we felt bad if we didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Like, if I walked into a room and I didn't give everyone a kiss on the cheek, that was, like, a sign of disrespect. And I think that it's important to tell your kids, like, if you don't feel comfortable giving somebody a hug or a kiss, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You know, like...
We were never told that.
Hell no, you better give her a kiss. You better give your grandma a kiss, grandpa a kiss.
Now they crack me up because they're like, okay, we have a few tips and tools on how to do things. Don't make your kid do anything. That was one thing, because Jonah, I've kind of taught him, like, oh, make sure you go give your grandma a kiss, or go, you know, whatever. Like, he does it. But, like, I have issues with him because if it's someone that he doesn't know, he doesn't speak, even when he's spoken to. And, like, I try not to make him, but I'm like, hey, if someone says, you know, hello, reply, hello, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to be like kid that's like, and walks away, you know. Like, right. Goodbye to you, too, you know. So, I don't know. I try to, with him, too, I tell him, even now, like, be careful. You know, no one is supposed to touch your pee-pee. If you're cleaning yourself or doing something, you do it yourself, unless mommy or daddy is doing it, you know, or stuff like that. Just so he knows. And I tell him, like, if anyone, don't, you know, just anything, just little stuff. If anyone hits you or does something, you let me know, you know. And he's real good at that. He's not, like, I don't think my son is one that could be kidnapped, because he definitely cry his ass off. Yeah. He's not getting away without screaming. So, I don't know. That's just my theory on it. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I think it's important and that's good. That's good that he knows how to do that. I mean, I was taught that too, like, scream your head off if somebody's trying to grab you. Don't let nobody touch your private parts.
But no one ever told us about if you don't want to give them a hug, don't give them a hug. It was like,
oh
you
yeah,
better
yeah,
get over
no.
there. It's respect. You better get over there and give them a kiss right now.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're gonna get a bella. You're gonna
Yeah,
just like, damn,
for
dude.
real. And I think I have a friend that she has a daughter, and if somebody says, "Oh my God, you look so cute," and like wants to like give her a hug or something like that, the mom will stop and ask her daughter, "Is it okay if he gives you a hug? Is it okay if he gives you a kiss?" Like, ask her like a fucking human being. So she has her own decision on it, which is like so cool. And I have to even like, when I'm around them, I have to be cautious of that, because I'm always like, "Oh my God, here, come give me a hug."
Right.
When I know the right thing to do, and that's first because I know what my friend would want me to say,
Right.
and second because it is fucking true. I need to, just because they're a kid, I can't say, "Oh, come here, do this."
Right.
I should be, "Can I have a hug?
Right.
Can I have?" And if they don't want to, be like, "Okay, that's fine."
Right.
You know, like, don't make them feel bad. And like, I think that's a big issue too, especially like for us, it was like a really big issue. So I think we need to, an important part about all this is like normalizing telling kids that it's okay to not show every adult an affect, like that kind of affection, because you really don't know what every adult is up to, what goes on in every adult's head.
Right.
And unfortunately, that is just like the world we live in, and I don't know.
You just like hope for the best. It's sad. That's the only thing you can do is hope for the best.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's gonna be thrown at you.
Adulting tip of the day: hope for the best, and let the universe guide you to what you need, like donuts.
No, really though.
No, but for real, I mean, it's
a touchy subject. It's a hard subject, but we felt that it was something that needed to be talked about, because it is not something that's talked about a lot, and it's sad that it isn't. It's just,
yeah. I think it's being talked about a lot now, though.
More so,
yeah.
yes.
I think
like
now, and it's
we're normalizing men having feelings, and I like that.
I know.
I love that.
I love
because
it.
This is a new day and age. Like, why can't guys have feelings? We're not in the fucking 15th century. Like, get out of here.
If women can work, guys can have feelings.
Right? Guys can cry, okay?
I need to be better with that too, though, because I do somewhat still have that like mentality sometimes. Like, if a guy is being a little too sensitive, I'm like, you need to man up.
Right.
Like, come on. It's not that big of a deal, you know.
You're
and
more tough about a situation than he would be, or
right.
Like,
and then if I am more tough on a situation, I'm like, oh no,
right.
This is not okay. You know, like, and I'm doing it. That's me doing it. And I need to like, I can't preach, "Oh, normalize men having feelings," and then I'm over here like, you're having too many feelings.
Just so you know.
Oh God.
But should we end this with our away question?
Are we doing the away question? Is that what we're gonna do?
Are we? Are we?
I put, "Are we sucios yet?" Which the answer is hell no. None of us should be sucios.
Which is like dirty.
I said that the Boy Scouts like earned their sucio badge. They earned it.
The Boy Scout managers or whoever is running that shit.
All those people. They fucking suck. I hope you lose your $1 billion.
But seriously, hide your kids.
Yeah.
Hide your grandma, your
Hide
family,
your wife.
everybody.
Hide everyone.
This is a crazy world, and I feel like they're out for everybody in some way.
And it sucks too, because it's also a really fucking beautiful world.
Yeah.
At the same time, and like,
there's just fucked up people in it.
Like, I walked outside today, and I'm like, it's so nice out. Look at the sky. Oh, I'm so lucky to be alive.
Right.
And then it's
well,
like,
Earth is beautiful.
So, Boy Scouts.
Right.
And they're molesting kids.
And it's freaking crazy. This shit is just wild.
But, like, I wonder, too, like, what time do you think is a good age to start talking to Jonah about, like, that kind of stuff? So he understands. Because right now, like you said, you're telling him, like, if somebody tries to snatch you, yell. Like, you know, don't let no one touch your private parts. Yeah. But, like, when does it start to where it's like, look, this is why I'm telling you this kind of stuff? Like,
right. I would say maybe a couple years when he's a little more understanding. It's hard because those are hard conversations to have with your kids. Like, because growing up, those conversations were just not had with us. You know, they were just not conversations that were ever brought up for us. So it's like, I feel it's super important.
I feel like somewhat my mom tried to be good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still kind of like, I don't know.
Lacking in a way.
Not lacking. I think she was good with telling us, like, look, this is why I tell you, don't do this. This is why I don't want you to do this. But at the same time, we would still walk in a room and have to, like, hug everyone, even if we got a weird feeling from them.
Yeah.
Because they were, like, family or, you know, a priest
like,
or, you know.
And I'm not going to say, some of my family was like that, too. Like, I forgot about that. It was like a puerco. And
yeah, we're like, there's always one.
And
there's
like,
always
we were
one.
supposed to be like, oh, hey, I stopped giving him kisses, though. Once I found out what it was, I was like,
Dude, it's always the worst ones when you give them, like, a kiss on the cheek and they're like,
Yeah. You're like,
And the more older you get, they're just like, this isn't normal. No one else does this.
This isn't like,
And that happens like way more often than we think. Which is horrible.
It's sickening. Because when I look at a kid, I think of love and their little happiness. And to think about someone trying to just come out of nowhere and fucking ruin that for them, like, who the fuck are you to take a little kid's innocence or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like you look like when you're growing up, I can't even thinking about having something like that happen to me and me growing up remembering that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it just being carried with you. It's horrible to think about. Ay, Dios.
Oh, man.
But we just felt like it was really important to bring this subject to our platform. There might be more episodes on these type of things. We'll see.
There's always fucking something to talk about. I mean, 2020 has proved that to us. There's always a pedophile.
And then there's always something else coming out. There's something new and new information that's always coming out. So we might just do a part 2 and go more in depth with what and other things that it kind of branches out to. Sex trafficking, talking about the Nassar stuff and, just a ton of other stuff. So
yeah, stay tuned.
We'll see. Yes, stay tuned. Thank you for listening again.
Yeah, I gotta go because my ass, I'm riding a struggle bus and it's just me on it.
I'm up as hell and she's ready to knock out.
I know, I'm like leaning forward. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna. Falling asleep, closing my eyes. Oh God, y'all pray for me.
But got you. Well, we love you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You already know what to do because I remind you every fucking week.
Every episode I
remind you. But here it is again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast.
Make sure you do it.
We'll give you $1 if you do it. A whole $1.